Hello guys, welcome again to another BTC Daily Update. I hope you are doing great today. In today's BTC Daily Update, as usual, we will be analyzing the 4-hour time frame, the 1-hour time frame, and the daily time frame for BTC. And we will be also talking about the weekly time frame because last week the weekly candle did close. And in my previous BTC Daily Update video, I told you that it was very, very important to see that weekly close or to analyze that weekly close because it will give us a lot of information and a lot of data basically on what might happen in the future for BTC, at least on the weekly time frame. So stick around to the end of the video because it will get very, very informational. And as always, like, share, and subscribe. It means a lot if you can help the channel grow. With that being said, we're gonna start time frame by time frame. I think I'm gonna be talking first about the daily, and then the 4-hour, and then the 1-hour, and then the weekly. I think on the daily time frame, if you remember my previous update, I was telling you guys that where we are right now on Bitcoin on the daily time frame, as per the indicators, is not a place that we're probably going to see 44k. On the contrary, I see that most likely where we are right now on the daily is basically a place where we are most likely we will retest the daily AMAs, which will be coming in near the heartland of the channel. And that's what actually has happened in the last couple of days. Bitcoin has moved towards those daily EMAs. As you can see, we had a nice wick here, which was very, very close to that daily EMA, around 59,486. And obviously, we are currently in a retrace mode on the smaller time frames, not on the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, I think this still has juice for upside. I don't think the upside is done here. I mean, we still are under the daily EMAs. We're still bearish under the daily EMAs. We are consolidating, which is very, very good. But what we need is, like I said, to flip into a bullish scenario or a bullish state on the daily. We need a breakout candle like this in order to confirm over the daily EMAs, obviously, in order to confirm that bullish flip on the daily. If that doesn't happen, unfortunately, you can expect a scenario like this to be on the cards next for Bitcoin, all right? So what's happening right now on the daily is very similar to something like this, where basically you have a chip chop type of scenario. Most likely, go towards the daily EMAs, wick above them slightly, and then continue in that chop till you have a final breakout. So the breakout is either going to be like this or like then it's going to be down. Most likely, in my humble opinion, it's going to be upwards. But unfortunately, I don't see the upside for Bitcoin to be as strong as people are thinking. So I'm not seeing 70k or 68k or 67k anymore. I think maybe tops is 66k on any daily move to the upside. But let's see. Let's wait and see the data. I mean, the more data that comes in, the more likely that I'm going to be more accurate with that prediction. As of now, on the daily, I think we remain bearish. We remain in a bearish downtrend. We are consolidating. Is great. My projection is still the same as my previous update, and that is basically that I think we will probably retest those daily EMAs more. If you remember correctly, we have a fair value gap around 60k on the daily. So 60k to 62.2, that area right there is where I think BTC is heading on the daily time frame for a retest. I think a bearish retest, but as I said, time will tell and the data will tell. As for the 4-hour time frame, the 4-hour is kind of interesting for Bitcoin. If I remember correctly, last time I left you off, guys, on the 4-hour time frame, I was telling you that most likely the scenario that's going to happen here is potentially a sweep of the highs. So if I remember correctly, we were somewhere here, which is last around this area, right? Last week. And I was telling you that most likely what's going to happen is a potential sweep of these highs that we're forming here. And obviously another drop to the downside and something that looks like this. I think if you see my previous YouTube video, I have the information on the previous YouTube video. And that's what exactly is happening right now. We are having this information on the 4-hour time frame. The 4-hour time frame, which translates to the next 24 to 48 hours, I think is bearish. I don't think it's bullish. A couple of things to note here. A bearish 4-hour time frame doesn't mean abyss, but it just means a retracement on the next 24 to 48 hours. That retracement most likely will end somewhere around here, if I'm not mistaken, just to give you an idea. I think personally this might be a channel formation. Now, people are calling it different ways. People are saying this is a pennant formation, where if you flip like this and like that, and this was a fake out. I personally, it could be a pennant. It could be a pennant, but I personally view it as this. I think channels are better than than other formations. So I think this is some type of channel formation to the upside, and I think the retest is, or this retracement on the 4 hour most likely will end around this area, which is around 56 and a half. After that, we analyze again, because the 4 hour time frame just translates to the next 24 to 48 hours. So it's not, you're not analyzing big moves over long periods of time. It's just a small move over a short period of time. So personally speaking, on the 4 hour, I still think this will be probably the case. After that, we analyze again. On the 1 hour time frame, which is obviously very small, smaller compared to the 4 hour, seeing the 4 hour is bearish, the likely scenario for the 1 hour being bearish is there as well. And as I said, most likely this is where we're heading, towards that bottom of the channel right here, or this trend line right here that you see in front of you. So the 1 hour, unfortunately, which translates to the next 6 to 12 hours, in my personal opinion, is also bearish. It's not bullish. Now these are all minuscule time frames. This chop is not important when it comes to the bigger time frames. The most important time frame is the weekly and the monthly. We already spoke about this before. We already talked about the weekly. We already talked about the monthly. We already said that the monthly looks very bad for Bitcoin. And we already talked about the weekly, and we said that most likely we will lose, or we will close under those 1830 EMAs, and we did. So last week's candle closed, let's see here, around 55.8K. So it's not a very good close. And this current candle is not looking very good, and I don't think this current candle goes to 62. Well, I mean, it might, but we will have to wait and see. I will be analyzing this day by day, and obviously as we get closer to the weekend, we will probably be more accurate about this type of prediction. But on the weekly time frame, obviously we closed bearish here. It's not a bullish close. If you remember my last BTC Daily update, I told you guys that I don't want to see. So I told you that most likely we will lose the weekly EMAs, but I told you that I don't want to see, weekly closes under the EMAs. That was just gonna be a worse sign. What I would like to see, if you're a bull, obviously, and you're thinking of all-time highs soon, 70K soon, to the moon, whatever. What you'd like to see is weekly candle closes above the 18 EMA, which is going to be the heartland of that channel, which is going to be around the 60.62K region, which is that daily time frame region that we talked about. So this daily time frame region that we talked about, that we potentially see Bitcoin going to over the next couple of days, is the main area of interest for me. That's the key zone there. If we can have a nice break above it and get a weekly close above it, that will flip for me. That will change my opinion on with regards to the charts. As of now, my opinion is going to stay the same. And just to give you a quick example of what I think might potentially happen here, is basically if we look past here to previous price action. I'm gonna zoom out slightly so you can just compare current price action to previous price action. Okay, so what I see happening currently is something very similar to this price action here. Okay, now I don't want you to see this. Scratch this. I don't care about this. Okay, all I'm saying is I think what might happen over the next couple of weeks is potentially something that looks like this, where basically we keep getting rejected from that 1830 EMA. Hopefully those rejections will come in the form of something like this, maybe where we don't cross bearish and then we pop up to the upside. But just remember, if we do have a bearish cross on the weekly EMAs, if we do have a drop further and we lose this area, which is basically the 50K region, we lose it with weekly closes under, that obviously is going to be very bad. Very, very bad. Because that would mean that we've lost key support, we've lost, potentially lost the weekly EMAs, and potentially have a bearish cross on those weekly EMAs, and most likely we'll be retesting the supply and demand zone, which is basically the 39 to 40K region. Now, very, very bad doesn't mean that it's over for Bitcoin. Very, very bad is either two things, in my personal opinion. There's a 70% chance, I've talked about this before on my Twitter, if you follow me there. So there's a 70% chance that if this scenario were to happen, where we do lose this area right here, which is the 50K region with weekly closes under, then either we are in a bear market or we are in a black swan event similar to 2019. 70% it will be black swan, 30% it will be bear market, in my humble opinion. Okay, things could change, my opinion can change. It all will depend on the data that comes, after. You know that we're trying to predict the market, and it's not easy to predict the market as analysts or as traders or as chartists. But the more data you have, the clearer the picture that you get. So if you see me changing my mind in the future, it's not because I want to look smart to everybody, or no, it's on the contrary. It's just that I'm seeing something on the chart, extra data that's telling me something else, that data that I didn't see basically, or I didn't get. So yeah, that is it for my BTC daily update today, guys. Unfortunately, again, I wish I could have more information for me, more bullish information, but that's what I see for now. Just a quick summary. Daily time frame, I still think we are bearish, and we are in a bearish downtrend, obviously, but I think that we potentially are going for that bearish retest around 60 to 62k region on the daily time frame. As on the 4-hour time frame, as you are well aware also, I think we are bearish, and most likely we are going for a retest of that 50, how much was it, I forgot, 56k region. Let's just round it to 56. So 56k region on the 1 hour, we're bearish as well, and we are potentially going to that 56k region. And on the weekly time frame, which is the most important time frame, obviously we are bearish, but what we'd like to see now over the next couple of weeks is at least bearish consolidation without losing key levels like the 50k region. Weekly closes, wicks are okay, weekly closes under that are not okay. And the better scenario, obviously, on the weekly is having weekly closes above the 1830 EMA. That would be great. So if we do get some weekly closes above this, and we start to climb back above the heartline of this huge channel formation or this huge flag formation, then that would be a very good sign for Bitcoin. If not, then expect a chop like this, and then we will analyze again to see what's happening on BTC. Just remember, we don't want to see weekly EMA closes, bearish crosses at all, and we don't want to see weekly closes under key support, which will form, by the way. So this, if you see this is key support forming over a couple of weeks. So most likely this is what's going to happen here. Key support will form at the bottom of the channel over the next couple of weeks, and hopefully it will hold, and hopefully we will be able to bounce back and resume the run by the end of the year as projected. Anyways, guys, that is it for my BTC daily update. If anything changes, obviously I will be the first one to let you guys know. And as always, like, share, and subscribe. It means a lot if you can help the channel grow. And I will see you again next time. Bye bye, guys. See ya.